Hello traders, how are you doing? I hope everything's fine with you and welcome to a new weekly Forex market analysis. Let's start as we usually do with the economic calendar. And as we can see, Monday we almost have nothing. Tuesday we have some news on Australian dollar, which are quite important. And on Wednesday we have some news on New Zealand dollar and some on USD. On Thursday, again, some news on USD, and on Friday, some news on British pound and Canadian dollar. And I would say relatively this week, we don't have a lot of news as, for example, it was the case with the last week. Last week, we had a lot of news. But anyway, keeping that in mind, we should expect, a lot of liquidity on Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, US dollar, and some on British pound and Canadian dollar. So it's okay for us. Now let's start with this, I would say the DXY or the US dollar index. And let's start with this, I would say, chart. What you can see here, this is a very important chart for me, and it has psychological levels where you can basically see what is happening in the market where you can expect the price to retrace or find resistance or support. If you look at the chart, you will see that these levels are very strong, and you can see that, for example, here, support, price broke below, found support here, price broke below, broke below here, support, price broke above resistance, broke below, support, and right now price, as you can see here, broke below this level, which is 97.5, and didn't come to retest so far. And that actually made me think that at least in the next week, I would expect the price to come to retrace this level, to test this level at the first place. So this is a very, very, very important thing. Also, let's have a look on the monthly candle, because we had the monthly candle closure. You can see, guys, how strong bearish candle is this, with a very almost no tail on the top, no tail, or almost like, I would say, very small one on the bottom, and strong bearish candle. Again, you see here on this level, which is the 100, price broke below, came to retest as a resistance, and then price pushed straight away. So again, I would say the price will come at least to retest this level, the 97.5, I would say next week. But also from psychological point of view, when you see such a bearish candle like that, most people will say, okay, it's time to sell. This is a very strong bearish engulfing candle. According to all books and all what you have seen, most retail traders will think, okay, it's time to sell. Which is the case. It can be. Why not? But I want you to keep in mind one thing. From psychological point of view, it's not always the case. Because most of retail traders right now see this and say, okay, it's time to sell. But it's not necessarily the right moment to sell. Maybe the price will come just all the way up to collect all stop losses, especially we have this level here, the 102. You see this level, 102.50. This level was, for example, here, support, resistance and support. And here price broke below and didn't come to retest it so far. So why not? Price will come all the way up to here, or even can be to that level, and then from here we see a move to the downside, if any. I'm not saying that this is a must and we will see the price must come here or here, but I'm saying this is a possible scenario. You need to keep it in mind from psychological point of view. So that's why next week I would love to see how the weekly candle is going to act toward this level, which is a 97.5. If the next weekly candle will close above, so I would say that my scenario for the price to come to this level or even to that level will come into play, and then from that levels we will look to bigger sell. If we will see that the next weekly candle will come to test this level and we will start to see, more rejection towards the downside, then maybe it's time to sell from here. That's why it's very important to look at the weekly time frame. And let's go to this level here. If you watched my weekly market analysis from 2 weeks ago, you will see when I told you that basically here we have a very basic support, and this is on weekly time frame. Price broke below here, came to retest, and then we saw a strong bearish engulfing, showing that this level is holding as a resistance, which is nice. But again, I want to see more from here. Okay, we might see again, depending on the next week, because right now I want you to imagine that we have this level, which is again, it's almost as a support, because we have here 2 points on weekly time frame, support, price broke below. So at least I want to see how the price is going to react from here. If the price will show some rejection and stop here, then maybe it will be time to sell. But if the next week the price will close above this level, so then I would say we might see a move to the upside first. It can come all the way up to here, I would say here, or even here before moving to the downside. So this is one thing to keep in mind. Now let's go to gold. Let's start with this one here. Very similar story, guys. I like to have my chart without any colors, because colors have some impact and makes you biased when it comes to, I don't know, green color candles for the, I don't know, moving to the upside, or red for the one moving to the downside. So I like to keep it like neutral without any colors. What I want to show you here, that as you can see on weekly time frame, price broke below this level, and you see when it came to retest this level, almost it broke above here on 7 of April 2025. It came to retest it on May 12, 2025. This level here is not retested yet. As you can see, price broke above and didn't come to retest this level, which is 3,100. So this is an open target, and I would say we might come down to that target here if we see US dollar to move to the upside, as I mentioned here, that the price might come all the way up to here or even here. If that will happen, so then we can expect gold to move all the way down to the 3,100. That might be the case, but again, we have to be patiently waiting and see what will happen in the next week. And let's go now to this chart here. If you remember, in my last week video, I highlighted the bottom of this, the low of the weekly candle. As you can see here, it was the weekly candle, not of the last week, but from the week before. And I said, if the price is to move to the upside, I would expect at least this weekly candle to take first the low before moving to the upside. And what happened? Straight away on Monday, straight away once the market opened, what happened? Monday candle took the low of this previous week candle and then start to move to the upside. But right now, looking at this, to be honest, this is very nice scenario right now. Let me remove this. When you see perfect double bottom like this, you have to know one thing, that there is a lot of liquidity down here. The amount of stop losses is massive, and the amount of stop losses here below and the liquidity is very big. That's why I love such scenarios, because I know that most probably the market will come here to collect all stop losses before moving to the upside, if any. So that's why right now I would like to wait and see. If we will see still move to the upside next week, then we would say that, okay, right now we will have double top here, double bottom here. Basically we are inside the range, but that means that we will wait for the price to liquidate the tops or the bottoms, and then we will just enter into a trade for the opposite side. Okay, and I really love how it is for gold right now. On weekly time frame, okay, we need to know that we are in an uptrend, and here is the last higher low on weekly time frame. As far as we are above this point, we are still in an uptrend, and this is a very important point. So price can come break below this trend line, and still we will be in an uptrend because of the market structure. So this is a very important. Now what we need to do, we need to adjust our trend line to the latest point, and now we need to see. Let's go on 4 hours time frame. From 4 hours time frame, I would rather look at the daily time frame, to be honest. Yes, and I'm really interested in seeing what will happen here, especially that I know that right now there are a lot of stop losses down here. So most probably price will just come and collect them all. So for me, as far, okay, let's just look at it that way. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, we can see price. Yeah, so technically we are still, this point is very important for us on move to the downside. Yeah, this point is quite important. So maybe we will see price to come here first, and then from here we will decide. So this area is quite important for us as well. Let's just put it like that. And I would love to see what will happen. But again, I would love if the price will just come here, collect all the stop losses, and then maybe from here we will be looking for opportunity to buy. So this is for gold. And for EURUSD, it's very interesting. And you remember from last week video, what did I say? I said that in Q3 I would really expect the price to come to the 1.20 area, and in the last week we could see price started to push a little bit up. Okay, we start to have a doji candle. It means we have some rejection here, but still I would say in Q3 I would expect the price to come all the way up to here. So now let's go to this one here. On daily time frame, what do you see, guys? You see this level. It's very strong. Resistance, resistance. Price broke above. Support, 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 support. So as far as we are above this level on daily time frame, we are still in an uptrend. But also keep in mind that here we have resistance, 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 resistance. Price broke above, didn't come to retest this level as support at all. So what I want to say, if we will see a daily candle close below this level, we will wait for the price to come to retest this level, and if it shows any nice signs of rejection, then I will be selling and with a target all the way down to here. So that can be almost an opportunity for, I would say, let's say, I don't know, we will put 25 pips as a stop loss. That might be an opportunity almost for a trade of 1 to 7 risk reward ratio. So that might be a nice opportunity for us. Last is GBPUSD. Let's start with this one here. So on daily time frame, that's on weekly time frame. So again, guys, you see how these levels are very strong. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Price broke above here on 19th of May 2025, and then price came to retest this level on June 2025, almost after 1 month. Okay, and again, looking just here, I can see this level so far not retested, and this level so far not retested. So if the US dollar is to move to the upside, as I mentioned, so then we can expect GBPUSD to come all the way down to here or here before the next move to the upside. That's why I would say the next week candle is very, very, very important to us. Okay, and as you can see here again, these levels. So here, resistance, 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 price broke above, came to retest, support, support. That's why here it will be, okay, this level is already tested. It will be very important to see how this level will hold. If the price will break below, again, we will wait for the price retest, and then we will be moving to the downside at least to that level, at least. So that's why we need to see how this level is going to hold. Okay, let's move to this one here. So on daily time frame, I did talk about that. On 4 hours time frame, okay, I would say it's better to stick to daily time frame. Yeah, it's better to stick to daily time frame, I would say, to be honest. Yeah, so that's all, guys, for this week. It's very interesting. I will be more checking things on daily time frame. At least I need to wait for Monday and Tuesday, and then if Monday, for example, price will break below, then Tuesday I will wait for the price to come to retest, and if it shows some nice of resistance, then I will be selling maybe the GBPUSD, EURUSD, and gold. I would love to see what will happen here. I would really love to see what will happen here, especially that also we have this gap here. So maybe the price will just, come first here and then move to the downside. And you hear me saying maybe and a lot of if, because the good trader work with if then. If this will happen, I will do this or I will do that. As a good trader, you must be reactive, not proactive in trading in order to be successful. That's all, guys, for this week. I wish you a very successful week in the market, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.